Welcome back, everybody, to another Critical and Thinking. I'm Ian Harris. Ty, you
And Ty
there?
Barnett. So I had to get used to that. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? We're gonna work through this one. I am in the Northwest right now, hosting the Seattle Comedy Competition. I'm sorry I can't be there in person, but it still doesn't change the bullshit we're dealing with in the world.
All right. We are. Yeah, it's a crazy one. Yeah. So anyway, tell everybody a little bit about the Seattle Comedy Competition. Let's start a little light today, and we can move on.
It's not. You know what, dude? I haven't participated in it as a contestant in years, so this is the first time in a long time that I've been around a competition vibe like this. But I remember as a contestant, it was super fun. As long as I didn't think about the numbers.
Right.
So you just got to go have fun because every room is subjective, every venue is subjective, and I'm around some young, talented people. There's some funny people on this thing. I was surprised. I'm not gonna lie. The first night I was like, I didn't know who was bringing what, and some young cats, like some really people who only been doing it a few years, that are really bringing it. Some good premises. I like that. You know how it is for us, man. It's hard to make comedians laugh. So
Yeah.
if you get me to laugh, I can tell you it's funny. So I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying the non-pressure. I'm enjoying the just being a paid observer.
So are you a host or are you a judge or are you both?
I'm hosting.
Okay, cool. So who are the judges?
They're different every night.
Oh, okay, cool.
Last night, Carl Warmanhoven was one of the judges. Jeff Young was also one of the judges.
Jeff Young, yeah.
Yeah. So and then it was different people the night before. So first night is five different cities. First night was Edmonds. Last night was Seattle Comedy Underground. Tonight is in Olympia. The next night is in Longview, and the last night is in Bainbridge. So
nice.
Yeah, it's been fun, man. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I miss being around comedy energy like this sometimes because you to see these people like forming their ideas and adjusting it depending on how the crowd goes. Because last night's club audience was way different than Edmonds theater vibe.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, totally. And that's always going to be a different vibe, right?
Yeah. So it's been dope. It's been really nice just being around these youngsters. I feel like a fucking old man sometimes.
Yeah. In my day, we had premises.
Oh my God, dude. It's weird, man, because I feel like I don't want to be that dude that sounds like the old dude, but I'm watching these cats and I'm like, I remember them days.
Right.
I remember. So, but it's been really fun, man. I'm not gonna lie. I took the gig because I was like, I just wanted to be around comedy energy for a while.
Nice. Yeah, I mean that, and it's cool. I mean, and you get to see people coming up. You get to see people. Somebody might be. I mean, the Seattle Comedy Competition, the San Francisco Comedy Competition. At one point, those were the two biggest, most famous comedy competitions.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Did you do one of them?
I did San Francisco.
Okay.
I didn't win it. I didn't win it. I think I took fifth. I placed. That was when I did it. I believe Daryl Lennox won it that year. He either won it or took second. I don't remember. It was Danny Bevins, Daryl Lennox, Bent Washburn.
Wow.
Me and let's see. Kane Lopez ended up not. He in the top 10, but I don't think he made top 5. Craig Gass, Gass, Joe Klosik, Tony Diomco. There was a bunch of people in that. It was we were the millennial one. It was 2000 is when I did it.
Oh, nice. It's I never did the San Francisco one. I kind of wish I had, because I hear it's a totally different experience.
It's cool. So, I mean, and it used to be the one that launched everybody. Like so many people came from San Francisco Comedy Competition and I mean, at one point that was the big one. It was like on HBO, and I mean, you had like, I mean, look at the big one. The thing is that in San Francisco is everyone knows you take second. First place always goes nowhere. Not always, but a lot of times goes nowhere. And then second place always does well. Like all the people who were second place. I think Robin Williams was second place. I think I can't remember if there was a year where first and second, one was Dane Cook, one was Doug Stanhope, and I don't remember who took which place. I think Dane Cook may have won, and Doug Stanhope took second or something. And then Dana Carvey took second place. Ellen DeGeneres either won it or took second
Wow.
place. Like all these people back in the day, Bobby Slayton. I'm just trying to think.
Bobby Slayton.
All these people that took second. Yeah, I mean, tons of people back in the day. That you know of, and you look and you go, wait, that person took first, and the person that took second became super famous. It's happened over and over and over, and it's not always that the person who took second was funnier than the person who took first, but for some reason that's just kind of the thing. I think they actually made a documentary about San Francisco's second place or something like that. But yeah, but seriously, Dana Carvey, Robin Williams. I mean, just the list goes on and on. Ellen DeGeneres, list of people that have done that. That comedy competition, you know, but also it went from, you know, it was $100,000 the winner, and then and now it's like you get dinner at Fridays or something, you know.
Oh, bro,
I don't know what it is.
it's the prize money is 5,000.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Well, that's five.
It's 5, but I mean, you factor in. I mean, it's a lot of variables to it. I think
Right.
this is really more about the, you know, you factor in taxes, you factor in, you know, your expenses for being up here and stuff. So, but I think the cool thing about it is like I said, a lot of these cats are young, so this is a great experience for them to be in these different venues. And you know, someone said to me the other night, it was cool. It's cool to see people adjusting on the fly depending on what the room is.
Right.
You know, and learning, oh wow, you know what, these like Edmonds, I'm not gonna lie, Edmonds was way more liberal when it came to what they wanted to hear. Like they let a lot of stuff go.
Nice.
You know, whereas the underground last night, there was a lot of oohs and ahs and groans and shit last night. So which is weird because it's a club.
Right.
So, you know, but to watch these young comedians adjust to the environment was actually really nice, you know. So I think that part, you know, the money is one thing, and it's great, of course, you getting paid and all that stuff, but the experience and the way you learn how to mold as a comedian, I think that's priceless.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So man, so let's. I don't know if you've been up there, if you've been following what's going on with the impeachment hearings.
Every day, bro.
I only got to listen to an hour today. I got to listen. I listened to almost all of the other couple days, and then of course listened to all the recap. And I only got to watch half the debate last night as well. But yeah, man, a lot to go through here. I mean, first off, can we all agree, please, even Republicans out there, please, can we all agree that Devin Nunes is a complete fucking joke of a human being? Like this guy's, is this guy even trying? Like I don't even know what he's doing. His opening statements are like are so ridiculous. They're like, so he literally said about, and he says the same opening statements for everybody, and then asks the same questions for everybody. It's driving me nuts. He's like, he keeps saying, the real witness that the Democrats refused to bring up here is Hunter Biden. Oh, really?
Yeah.
What does Hunter Biden, was he on the phone call that when Trump bribed President Zelensky? Like, how does Hunter Biden have anything to do with the bribery and then he's like, and here he said, we've heard from 9 handpicked witnesses. Handpicked by Trump? Yeah, but yeah. And it's like, well, let's see, you have 12 that you are refusing to testify. And you have nine that are ambassadors, 50-year-long people working in the. One of them is Pence's fucking assistant. How are these handpicked by the Democrats?
How is Pence's aide a never Trumper?
Right, or Sondland. Sondland.
But here's the thing, dude, and this is why, man.
If Trump, they would ask Trump if he's a Trump. Are you a never Trumper?
Hilarious. Here's what's crazy, and this is why Republicans are doing this, man. And let me tell you something. I'm keep thinking that this shit doesn't matter, and you keep thinking that, oh, I'm not saying you, I'm saying
No, yeah,
people in general.
one. I get you.
It's just like people keep thinking that this doesn't matter, and they keep thinking that, oh man, it's just politics, it's just what it is. We ain't never had this before. We've never in the history of America had this.
No. Well, did you see that they actually did? I mean, I know it's a produced segment, and I know that it's comedy, and I know that there's probably a lot of leading. But did you see the Jimmy Kimmel thing where they went out and they asked people of if they were Trump supporters, and they said yeah, and they said, do you think these are impeachable offenses? And they just kept throwing out stuff that happened with Nixon. Did you hear that Trump wiretapped the DNC to get information, and they're like, yeah, is that impeachable? No, it's not an impeachable offense. Did you? And they kept saying stuff like they're like, well, what about Vice President Gerald Ford? Will pardon him. And people are like, well, if Gerald Ford, the vice president, wants to pardon him, it's like, what the fuck? Like, what kind of fucking dude? It was. I mean, of course they're the dumbest of the dumb, but they're the Trump supporters. Like that's just how they are. But dude, this fucking this. Is anyone? I mean, I really want to know if anyone's buying the Devin Nunes thing. Like he kept bringing up fucking Hunter Biden. Well, Hunter Biden. First off, even if Joe Biden and Hunter Biden did something illegal, that has nothing to do. Even if it's completely 100% true that I don't even know what the allegation is. I've asked everybody for the allegation. No one knows what it is. The only allegation I got is that Hunter Biden got a job, and that maybe he got the job because of his name. Okay, well, that's not fucking illegal. Unless you have a phone call of Joe Biden saying, if you don't give my son this job, then I don't even know what, because he wasn't doing anything. All he was doing the U.S. official policy to get rid of Victor, what's his name, Sulkin, what's the guy that was the prosecutor, that all of our allies, everyone wanted that guy. That was actually getting rid of corruption. He was trying to get rid of corruption by getting rid of a guy that everybody in the free world wanted gone, including them and the new president. So he wasn't doing anything. But even if he did, you still don't use government funds to bribe a president of a foreign country to release dirt on a political opponent, even if that political opponent's a complete scumbag. It's just not how it fucking works.
The phone call, he didn't mention corruption of those countries.
No, and then Rick Perry did the exact same thing, and we know this. Under his watch, they sent Rick Perry. He brought a list of 50 people. That his buddy got a 50-year contract with a natural gas company who, guess who their number one competitor is? Burisma.
Yeah.
So it's okay for Rick Perry to go and appoint his buddy as the CEO to get a 50-year contract with a Ukrainian company while serving as the energy department and serving as an ambassador for America to Ukraine. He can do that while working for the government. But a guy who's not working for the government's son can't get a private sector job. Get the fuck out of here.
Let me ask you this. How is it Mick Mulvaney isn't being... Well, why are we not talking about Mick Mulvaney? He was on the email chain.
Yeah.
Mike Pompeo on the email chain.
Because they refuse to testify. They're ignoring subpoenas. But here's the thing. So you can... Yeah.
Let me recap. Hold on one second. So the other people who were indicted in this situation, implicated, I should say, in this email chain, of those people who knew about the plot and basically have lied, saying that they didn't know anything about it, those people are not only implicated, but they're refusing to testify with federal subpoenas. Do I have that right?
That's pretty close to right, yeah.
Okay. And the American public, especially quote unquote conservatives, Christians, people who care about law and order, patriots and all that stuff, they're okay with this happening.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. I got you.
Yeah, dude, it's and here's the thing. The whataboutism with the Joe Biden thing is fucking not only insane, but again, it has no bearing on this case at all. It really doesn't. So again, we can use the bank robber, the bank robber analogy. Like, you know, we've gone through the bank robbery analogy. Okay, a guy sees somebody robbing a bank. Okay, He goes and calls the police. A guy's robbing a bank. The guy inside the bank goes, "Hey, give me the money." Or he says, "Hey, put all your money in this bag." He's got a gun in his hand. He goes, "Put all your money in this bag." And the person is about to put the money in the bag, and the cops show up, and the guy runs away. They catch the guy, and he doesn't have the money in the bag. Okay? What's happening now is they're saying, first off, before we do anything, you need to give the bank robber the name of the guy who called him, who told the police. We can't go any further until the bank robber and his people know the name of the guy that's the most important thing here, is to make sure that the bank robber knows the name of the guy who alerted the police. And it wasn't a bank robbery because there was no money actually put in the bag. He only attempted to rob a bank. And even if he did put money in the bag and got away with it, it doesn't matter because the bank teller is a child molester.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Or is it had a drunk driving arrest one time? Like what? What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
And the person that called the cops is a never robber.
A never robber. So you're a never robber. So you. Oh yeah, and Zen's out here talking about the stuff they did on the on the Jimmy Kimmel. They were asking him about all the stuff. It was hilarious. Is deep throat real? What do you think about the whistleblower Deep Throat, which was from Richard Nixon, right? And they were like, and the one guy goes, "Well, I mean, Trump, he has diplomatic immunity or whatever." It's like, dude, these people are just so fucking dumb. I can't even.
Dude, but that's why. This is why, like I said, man. I know you hate when I say, yeah.
No. So somebody said, "Wait, is that a booger?" I'm like, "What? Are you talking to me, Tosh?" I did not.
This is I know you hate when I say this, but it is becoming more and more evident.
Mm-hmm.
We need to stop allowing everyone
to vote.
I'm sorry, bro. And I know you're theoretically right because it's a slippery slope. But man, a driving test, in order to operate a vehicle, you need to go take a test. In order to do anything important, I mean, most things, you have to show that you're qualified in some way, shape, or form. The fact that we give everybody, not everybody, of course we exclude criminals, but people that don't know shit.
Right.
This is, hey man, Ian, there is no fucking way. Like right now, you could not walk into a restaurant and be like, "Hey man, I want to be the head chef." I'm sorry, we don't know you. Hey man, none of that matters, okay? I want to be the head chef. I know what eggs are, and I know what a frying pan is.
Now, I know what you're saying, man. But I mean, but in all honesty, A, it's a right. B, the problem is that if we pass that law right now, you know who they wouldn't let vote? You and me.
I know, bro. I know. I get it.
And they'd be like, "Well, you don't know what all you listen to fake news." So you'd be like, "No, but." And they would show you a cell phone and a tampon, and they'd be like, "This is an egg in a frying pan." And you'd be like, "No," and they're like, "If you don't believe that, then you don't get to vote." And you'd be like, "What?" That's what would happen. That's what would happen, unfortunately.
It's just sad that these people who you can prove that they're idiots are still just like, they have the same power as you do, the same fucking power as you do to decide who is running the fucking country. Hey man, America is a con man's dream, bro. Yeah. America is a con man's dream.
We know that for a fact because we've got one.
Yes, because it's easy. Because first of all, when you play off somebody's fears, and somebody got mad at me because I posted this, they asked about why hasn't this country revolted like other countries have, and I forgot the example they just gave, but and I said, well, because of racism, ignorance, lack of empathy, and I forgot what the fourth one was.
I think we're just too comfortable. Like, I mean, it's gotten bad intellectually, but most of us still have food. Most of us still, it hasn't really gotten. We're still comfortable, but also I think we're also kind of, we're kind of pussies in this country. Like, I
think that, but here's the thing. When I labeled those things that I said, and I would have to go back and look at the fourth one, what it was. but I said it in the sense of, in this country, it's been one group that's been favored over everyone else. So to your point about
Trans
it
people,
being
right?
hilarious.
Am I wrong? Okay, sorry.
Hilarious. But to your point about things being comfortable, yeah, to some people it is comfortable for them.
Right.
It is very comfortable for them. And also to your point about and this is why when I said it about the ignorance, I put that under the umbrella of the flood of misinformation and the people that don't want to be educated.
Right.
They don't. It's weird to me.
Well,
I'm
but
like,
not only do they not want to be educated, they actually, something like 55% of Republicans say that education is what's causing the downfall of this country.
and think about
Like,
that, bro. And
higher education is a bad thing because it teaches you to not be Republican, apparently.
Now think about this. Now, this is the only time in that instance they can say some shit like that, and other motherfuckers will sit there and say, "Yeah, that makes sense." Because if you go to a doctor's office and you say, "Okay, you got a choice between two doctors, Republican," you got the doctor that has degrees up the ass. I mean, he is a neurosurgeon / super spy. He does all of this shit. Or you got the dude that took online courses on the weekends.
Yeah.
Who do you think they would pick to perform their surgery?
Right.
They're not going with the least educated person. They're going to go with the one that's going to make sure that they have all this shit together. So
Like,
why is it?
Sure, that guy picks his scabs and eats paste, but he looks like the kind of guy I'd like to have a beer with.
Hey, look, hey man, my dentist says, you guys are making this shit up with needing the fucking anesthesia and all of the fucking the lidocaine to numb it up. So I'm just gonna take this lozenge that has that has eucalyptus in it.
Alex Jones says that lidocaine is a conspiracy that the aliens brought down to for mind control. So don't put that lidocaine on me, bro.
Jesus Christ.
By the way, a couple comments, we'll address them. So Corey says the most infuriating part of this whole thing is that either the Trumpkin patch is either too stupid to see what's happening, or totally complicit with it, or blatantly encouraging it. And that's true. I mean, I think it's a little bit of both, Corey. I think you have the average American who's following this guy is uneducated or brainwashed about something else, one issue. They're abortion, whatever the fucking issue is that they think they're racist, whatever the deal is. So they're blind dedication. Just like it's no surprise that these are also the evangelicals and the Christians, because they also believe complete nonsense without any sort of, they believe the world is 6,000 years old. So you're talking about people that are easily manipulated, and no matter what evidence you give them, they will never believe. They won't ever buy it or look at the facts. I mean, it's the same group of people. They're religious zealots, and this is their new leader. If they were at the fucking compound in Central America and he asked them to drink the Flava Aid, they'd fucking drink it right now. I wish he would.
I'd prefer that. Just get a whole vat of Kool-Aid together for these guys.
Right.
Man. That's it. Just go take them off somewhere and get rid of them. And I hate saying that, man, because these are human beings, and I really hate saying that.
Are they?
Here's what's crazy. I know, right? Debatable. Here's what's crazy. Is that these motherfuckers are getting more and more bold in these statements, so much so that the average person is like, yeah, see, because it did start with Trump in the sense of he would just double down on his claims as opposed to saying, okay, I lied, or I was misinformed, or I was wrong about that. So now it's kind of trickled over to the rest of these Republicans, and they like, instead of saying they're wrong, they just go off and just say, yeah, this is what it is. That's why you get a Nunes that keeps saying the same thing every fucking time. I mean, this motherfucker asked about 2016. Meanwhile, aren't these the same fucks that when you bring up Russia, they're like, oh, you're still talking about Russia again? You're still talking about that?
Right. Yeah, Russia didn't happen. The one that there's a 440-page report that says absolutely it fucking happened, that everyone who's read it is like, yes, 100% it happened. That didn't happen, but the debunked Alex Jones, Rudy Giuliani conspiracy theory that it was really hacked by Ukrainians because they somewhere in their Ukrainian Area 51, they have fucking Hillary Clinton's email server. That's the real story.
And that's
it's fucking nuts.
The thing, and this is why I keep telling people, man, listen, you have to understand. Sorry, the sirens are coming for me. The thing about
fucking
this,
Epstein.
man,
Sorry.
No, right. Oh my God, dude.
I don't know. We'll go
Oh
there.
my God. Between that and then, hey man, I don't give a fuck at this point. But these motherfucking Bernie supporters, bro. Listen, I am, I am, I am kind of convinced that they're the cut your nose off to spite your face people now. They will do that because, again, to your other point about being comfortable, it won't get that bad for them if Trump gets another 4 years. It
Yeah.
will not.
Well, because they're all white, entitled white guys.
Yes.
So they're like,
So
well, you know, I'm not losing my ability to get married. I'm not losing my ability to get a loan or to drink out of a drinking fountain. Yeah, yeah. I actually heard one, and it's just these crazy claims. They buy all this Russian shit. Like one of them yesterday was I said just something nice about, wow, Cory Booker looked like he smashed that. From what I saw, looks like he did a really good job in that. In the debate last night, and I've always kind of liked Cory Booker. I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's going to get enough momentum. I think he'd be a great VP, but I really love what he's got to say, and I really love his attitude, and he's a really smart dude, and I really like the guy. And just saying that he made some good points, and a couple Bernie bros were like, oh, he's a corporate guy, and he's got all he's bought and paid for. I'm like, God, is everybody but Bernie bought and paid for? Come, everyone can't be bought. So what happens when Bernie dies in 10 years? And will you never vote again? You'll never vote again because there's nobody that's as pure as Bernie Christ.
Let me hilarious. Let me tell you the dumbest thing yesterday, and man, I got respect for this dude as an entertainer, and he's not a horrible. I gotta.
Sorry, there's a whole and all you people that are watching on Facebook. I want to get to all your comments. We'll get them. I'm reading them. Keep going.
Oh, yeah,
keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Let me say this really quick. Is that I told the dude, I said, hey man, if Bernie gets the nomination, I'll vote for him. I ain't got no problem with Bernie Sanders. Go ahead. I just don't want Trump in there. So I will vote for anybody that is not that. I mean, of course, not Hitler. I mean, which is weird.
Well, Hitler might be better. Okay.
No, right?
Kidding. Jewish people, I'm joking.
But I said this to him. I was like, hey man, if Bernie gets the nomination,
I'll fucking run a parade for Bernie. Are you kidding me? Whatever. Yeah, fucking A.
I got no issue with that, right? So I say this to him to let him know that, yeah, I would support him. And he says, well, first of all, that doesn't sound, I mean, being a centrist, it was like, are you hearing what you're saying? I said, I just told you, if Bernie gets the nomination, I'll do it. I will vote for him. He says, well, you don't understand. He's not going to get the nomination because the Democrats are doing this. I said, well, okay, so what the fuck do you want me to do? Not vote? Do you want me to not vote? Well, since the system is that fucking rigged.
But it's nonsense that it's rigged too. It's you know how many times you keep hearing, oh, you don't hear any the media, the DNC, all these people are rigging it, and they're not showing anybody. They're not showing Bernie. Bernie gets 1% of the time, or this guy gets Biden gets 99% of the media time, and all this nonsense, and yet. It's the same thing when you hear people post these things like, how come no one's talking about this? And I'm like, everyone's talking about that. What do you mean no one's talking? It's the same thing. Last night I watched some coverage because I had to watch the debates afterward because I missed them, so I had to wait till the replay. So I was watching the recap before I watched the debates. And I was going between CNN, MSNBC, C-SPAN. I was going back and forth all the different networks. And they were playing sound bites of Bernie. They were playing sound bites of everybody. And then when I watched the first hour of the debate, which is all I got through, the two people that I thought didn't get any time were Yang and Steyer. They got a little bit of time, but it was like Bernie, Cory, Klobuchar, who were all awesome. That's probably why they got the most time because they were really great. And Mayor Pete a little bit, and Biden a decent amount, and Bernie quite a bit. But it's like the two that got to speak once were Yang and Steyer, and not that they're huge players, but it's like. You can't say that the media. Oh, so MSNBC and CNN and Rachel Maddow, they all got together, even though some of them are Bernie supporters and some of them are Biden supporters and some are Warren supporters. They all got together and said, okay, someone's telling us that we can only promote Biden on. It's fucking nonsense. It's so the conspiracy theories at that level are so fucking ridiculous.
I had somebody say that MSNBC is like Fox. And I'm like, I'm what? I'm like, this not even close. It's like, well, because they blatantly ignore Bernie. And I'm like, okay, first of them talking about Bernie, talking about AOC endorsing Bernie, Michael Moore endorsing Bernie, Bernie's manager talking about how much money they raised. And all. He's like, oh yeah, well, these are just links that you just posted to prove your point. I'm like, yes, yes.
And if you don't, they'll be like, well, where's your proof?
Yeah, and that's what I'm like. Do you understand what you're doing? You guys are doing the job that Putin wants, period. Now, again, like I keep saying, if Bernie gets the nomination, bro, he got my vote.
Yeah, he's got and all my support.
Yes, but when these motherfuckers are like, if he doesn't get it, I'm not voting, period.
Right.
Then you know what? I don't want to hear your fucking opinion. I don't want to hear shit you have to fucking say. Because you're telling me, because when you say that, when you say I am not going to vote if that person doesn't get in, compared to what's in right now, especially with everything we see now, if you're telling me that it is not worth you casting a vote at least against that, then you're telling me that you don't give a fuck about anybody except yourself. Period. You can spin it all you want to fucking spin it, but you are giving only a fuck about you and your own personal interest. Like I said, because he was like, well, I went to your page, and you know what? I don't see on your page. I don't see any support for Bernie.
I don't see a picture of you sucking Bernie Sanders' dick on there. I don't see it.
Exactly. I'm like, well, you know what else you don't see on my page? You don't see me endorsing anyone.
Right.
You don't see me endorsing any one candidate, because I'm like, I got to see what it comes down to, and whoever it is, I'll go with that person. But I said my main concern is I got to get the motherfucker that's in office out.
I got unfriended and called all sorts of names, not for hating on Bernie, but for liking Elizabeth Warren, who is the next best liberal, the one that everyone loved when she wasn't running. And as soon as she's running and beating Bernie, all of a sudden now she's a centrist, she's a corporatist. And I just posted some stuff about I like Elizabeth Warren, and somebody reposted my shit and blocked me and unfriended me for hating on Bernie Sanders. And I'm like, I didn't even fucking mention Bernie Sanders. I think I just said something like, hey guys, what happens when Bernie Sanders doesn't win? Who are you going to vote for? And what happens in 2020? I mean, in 2024 when he's not even running, are you ever going to vote again? Because it seems like the only person you'll ever support is Bernie. At some point, you're going to have to get over that, because Bernie's not going to be alive for the rest of it. And somehow that was a death threat on Bernie Sanders. It was fucking nuts. And the Bernie people are almost as bad on some level as the Trump people. And it sucks, because I really do like Bernie Sanders. I like a lot of what he has to say. I don't like everything he has to say, but I think he's a really good guy. I think he's a really good voice. And I think he's got some really great things to say, and he's really pushed a lot of everybody. He's shown us that progressives can win, and he's shown us that people want more progressive policies and issues. He's shown that. And I think that's good, because otherwise we wouldn't have had that. But he's not going to win. He's not going to win. And let me go through. Okay.
Maybe Bernie was running in Germany against Hitler, and he didn't get the nomination, and that's how we got Hitler.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
They said, you know what? Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? My guy Bernie didn't get in. I'll go with that Hitler guy. This is crazy.
Yeah, I'm just going to read. There's a lot of people commenting today, which is cool, but I can't get to all of them. But Tracy Barkley's got some great stuff on here. But she's just talking about, Tracy's talking about some stuff, which is, by the way, Tracy, that's everything that you're saying is what Elizabeth Warren is saying. Get rid of the PACs, make them, we need term limits. We need to get the money out. We need to get rid of Citizens United. We need to do a lot of things. We should lower their, in some countries, being part of the government is like a part-time volunteer fucking job that you can't make money at. And I'm not saying it has to be that way, but it needs to be more than a high-paying job that you can be in for the rest of your life, where you get kickbacks from companies. Zen says the Bernie Bros are just the Mr. Pibb of white privilege. I guess that means that the Trump supporters are the Dr. Pepper. But it's true on some level, and that it's their privilege that allows them to not have to vote. And again, I'm going to say this again, and I'll get into a fucking fist fight with people about this. Not voting, or voting for fucking Jill Stein, or voting for Tulsi Gabbard, or whoever ends up running third, fourth, eighth party, which, by the way, when people go, there's no third party, there's 9 parties. You don't vote for them because they suck. That's why. There are parties. There is a third party. There's a fourth party. There's a Green Party. There's a Libertarian Party. They're not viable, not because of the media, or they're not viable because you people don't fucking vote for them. But the thing is that the what was I'm totally just completely spaced out. But there are lots of viable options out here, and when I start talking about the Bernie thing with people, they get super upset, and I keep trying to tell them, look, I don't care if you don't agree 100% on anybody. If you don't vote or you vote for a third party, that's where I was going. If you don't vote or you vote for a third party, that is a vote for Trump. Period. Because again, if your option is fucking dark chocolate, milk chocolate, or dog shit, and everyone has to eat what the majority picks, and you don't vote for milk chocolate because you like dark chocolate, and that means everyone has to eat dog shit, guess what, douchebag? You have to eat dog shit too. We all have to fucking eat dog shit now, and you're going to sit there and go, well, might as well eat dog shit because it's the same as milk chocolate. Shut up. Stop. Milk chocolate and dark chocolate are not, because you don't like one, doesn't mean it's the same as dog shit, you fucking idiot. Stop. And the fact, I didn't vote for dog shit. Yes, you did, by not voting for something.
Yes, you did. And this is what I say when I keep trying to get this through to these motherfuckers' heads. I tell these Bernie supporters, the fucking Ricks and the fucking Bretts, I tell them, yo, if your dude gets the nomination, guess what? He got my vote.
Right.
But these fucks are like, well, if my dude doesn't get it, I'm just willing to deal with the shit that's going on now. Let me tell you something. Let me just break down exactly what the fuck is happening right now. Half of the representatives of this United States of America are in the pocket of a foreign country. That's a fact. Right. This is not speculation anymore. Half of the fucking representation of the United States of America are in the pocket of a foreign country.
Yeah.
They are being led by a dude who is a known fraud, known con man, known liar.
Right.
Now, you're telling me that you would rather just see more of that shit? It only proves my point about the fucking privilege that certain motherfuckers in this country enjoy. It only proves it. You can spin it any goddamn way you want to spin it. You don't care about black people. You don't care about brown people. You don't care about immigrants. You don't care about the poor. You don't care about the middle class. You only give a fuck about people that look like and help you personally in your range.
Right.
That's all it is. And for these motherfuckers to act like it's anything different is weird to me. I'll say this really quick, bro.
We got 5 minutes.
I understand why rich people are supporting this dude. I understand why corporations are supporting this dude. But the poor and the middle class, no matter whether you're white, black, whatever, I just don't fucking get it.
It's racism and ignorance. They watch literally. Honestly, it's Fox News. The biggest thing that Bloomberg or any of these billionaires could do if they want to help is buy Fox News, fire all these fucking complicit motherfuckers, and make it a real news channel. That's the only thing you can do. That would be the best thing. Bloomberg, if you're listening, that would be the best thing to do. I'm glad you're getting people voting and spending $500,000 to whatever and all that sort of stuff. Bloomberg, awesome. But go buy Fox News and dismantle that motherfucker or turn it into a real news channel, because that's what's happening. Most morons watch Fox News, and it is a goddamn propaganda channel. It's not even, you can't even dispute that. I don't even think most of them dispute it. But they still watch it. They still watch it, and it feeds their narrative. It feeds their confirmation bias, and it feeds their racism. And that's all they hear. And if all you hear is Hunter Biden did this and Hunter Biden did that, and that's what the real impeachment is about. If that's what you hear from people you think are trusted news sources, you're gonna think that's the fucking news. I mean, that's just a fact. I mean, that's why we flat Earth is growing, because people get their news from YouTube, and they watch YouTube and they go, well, I don't know if it's scientists, but he asked a question that I can't answer, and I don't know why I can't answer it, being a guy who dropped out of high school in ninth grade, who, it's like, so since I can't answer it, it must be that the Earth is flat, and they're only fucking infos from fucking YouTube. Well, guess what? You're the flat earthers, and your YouTube is Fox News, you fucking idiots. Get off the fucking Fox News and go watch something else, go listen to something else, go read something else. And if you think everything's fake news, read and watch a ton of it. And if it all seems to agree and it all seems to make sense and there's sources that are cited and you can fact check, then guess what? It's probably the fucking real news. And the one that's calling it fake news is probably the fucking propaganda.
The thing is that what's crazy is that I guarantee you, every time you pull that up, somebody will say something like, "Oh, so I bet you get your information from these people. Why don't you learn to think for yourself?" And these will be the same people that only literally watch one station.
Yeah, you know, I do think for myself. I watch this. I watch CNN. I watch MSNBC. I watch C-SPAN. I'll read the New York Times. I'll read the Washington Post. I'll actually even turn on Fox News sometimes. I'll watch all of it. I look at it, look at their sources, see what they say. If they're quoting somebody, I look that person up. You go through the research and you kind of decide, oh, well, look, that's why when they go, oh, so, you're talking about climate change, and they go, oh, so now one of the big talking points is, oh, so now climate change or consensus equals science. That's not how science works. No, you're right. That's not how science works. We don't science isn't done by the majority rules. But when there is a scientific consensus of all the experts, you can pretty much have a good understanding that that's probably likely because they've all done their own research scientifically and they've all come to the same conclusion. It's not that the consensus is what makes it science. It's that the overwhelming science is what creates a consensus. And that's how it works on all of these things. Yes, and Tracy, BBC, that's the other one. BBC, to me, watch news in other countries. If you think that everything's bought and paid for here in America, watch BBC, watch Al Jazeera. I don't give a shit. You will find they have no stake in it. They're just reporting the fucking news. And it's a lot different to watch news from other countries about America. And you'll find that oddly enough, the facts are almost always liberal.
Yeah. And this is,
or
and
at least
again,
liberal leaning.
Do we got any more questions or comments?
No, just Tracy put on here about watching BBC, CBC, but yeah, and Zen was backing me up. Empirical, testable evidence. That's absolutely the case. And Tracy says most media has a bias. That yes and no. That's kind of true. That's kind of not true. People have biases, but media doesn't have bias, and some do. Yes, MSNBC leans more liberal. Oddly enough, CNN is actually more center than people give it credit for. NPR is hands down the least biased and the most fact checked. It's a fact. They've done it. PBS is good, but the thing is, a good journalist, even if you work for the New York Times or Washington Post, a good journalist has journalistic integrity. They care about the facts. And a good newspaper and a good media source like Snopes, even a fact-checking source, where they will fact-check and multiple people will do it. Like in science, you have a peer-reviewed study. You do a study, and then that study's done by somebody else that has nothing to do with you. And if they get different results, then you don't publish it. If they get the same results, then you go, okay, it's been independently checked by a completely different source. That's how good journalism is done. And good journalism is, most of these places are good journalism. They're not opinion, like Fox News. It has to say opinion. It has to say for entertainment only. And most media is fact checked, unless it says specifically on their opinion. It's fact checked by somebody else, also in the organization. They go they don't say go find them, make sure that what I said was true. They say here's some claims, check them. And they check them. And if they're wrong, they won't fucking print them. They don't want that. The New York Times has been around for 100 and some years. The New York Times doesn't want people coming back going, look, everything you say is false. These facts can be verified scientifically not true. They want to be factually accurate so they can be trusted.
Think about this. Basic for dummies, just for dummies. If you ask people, who do you trust? Let's forget partisanship and all that shit. If you ask somebody, who do you trust? Person A, that has told the truth numerous times, has been verified by multiple sources that this person is telling the truth about this, and this. Or B, the person who has over 10,000 recorded lies, and I'm taking 3,000 out of that.
Yeah, I think you might be taking 6,000.
I'm just saying, let's round figure of 10,000 lives. If you ask any regular person, they say, okay, and then break it down to very basic shit. You got a mechanic. There's a mechanic who has, both of these mechanics have 10,000 reviews. 10,000 reviews, both of these mechanics. One mechanic has let's go lowball. Let's say 85% approval rating among his customers. And then you got another one that has 15%. You're telling me that you think both of those mechanics are the fucking same? They're not. And the fact that we keep getting people believing this dude, and part of me is amazed and scared as fuck that this dude has been able to mind fuck so many people, including people that pretended to be educated, into believing that, because the bare minimum, and this is the difference between Nixon and this dude. Well, networks as well, because when Nixon was doing this shit, it was only 3 networks, and journalists had integrity, and they were like, hey man, this shit is wrong. And Republicans cared about the country. And people trusted the information that they saw on TV because they knew that these people weren't going to be bullshitting them. The difference now is that this dude has manipulated this system in his favor to say, okay, well, listen, all I got to do is keep saying the shit that I'm saying, and I'll just convince these people through hatred, through racism, through greed, which is weird because it's the poor people that are really buying this shit, that I am the only person telling the truth. You're telling me that all of these fucking ambassadors that have like fucking decades of service in it, they're all lying?
Yes.
Except the dude who lies? This is bananas, bro. The only time this shit happens is when you got motherfuckers that don't want to see what the fucking truth is. And I'm gonna tell you, man, and I hate saying this because it's gonna fuck us all. I think these motherfuckers will have to learn the hard way. What I'm wondering is, how will these Republicans sleep at night? How will these Republicans, I kind of want to know what's going on in their head to know, how do you rationalize selling your country out? How do you rationalize that and still call yourself an American?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to leave with that question because we are way over on time. We gotta go. We got people waiting here. But that is the question of the millennia right there. But they won't do it. Yeah. Or Tracy says, or get caught in a truck stop bathroom with Mike Pence. But hey,
right,
so you can catch Ty. Go to Ty's website.
In the Northwest, come to the Seattle Comedy
Oh, Seattle Comedy Competition this weekend.
This weekend, and go to the website, comediantybarnett.com, which has links to all the different things, And you can find Ian at
IanHarrisComedian.com. Hey, guys, I'm going to be in Albuquerque December 13th and 14th with Ron Swallow, and then I'm going to be in Tucson December 15th with Jamie Kilstein and also Ron Swallow. So December 13th, 14th, 15th, come check me out, Albuquerque and Tucson. Everything's on my website, IanHarrisComedian.com. Please support us, Patreon.com, Critical and Thinking. Download, like all of our stuff on iTunes and Stitcher. Review, rate, all that sort of stuff. We got to go. Thank you all very much. We'll see you next time. Out.
Later.